Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to VA Friday. So today I wanted to talk about how or when VA buyers can pay for buyer's agent commission. So before I get right into it, I'm gonna do a quick dad joke. Dad joke today is, what word starts and ends with the letter E and it has one letter in it? One letter. Envelope. Envelope. Pew, pew. All right, so getting right into it. So the VA back in June put out a temporary variance on how they're going to do with the buyer's agent commission change. And ultimately, for the most part, things have been relatively the same on our end in Washington State. But for the most part, it depends on every state in regards to, and specifically the MLS of that state or the area they're buying in, that determines if the VA buyer can pay for the commissions with the transaction. Okay. So there's two questions that need to be asked, because the question is, can the VA buyer pay for the commissions within the transaction, where if it's coming out of pocket or gets rolled in or it's part of the purchase price? Obviously, if it's part of the purchase price, it's normal business as before. But if they're paying it out of pocket, there are some things that must follow VA by the letter in regards to their temporary variance. So the question you got to ask is, I'm wondering if your VA buyer can pay for commissions, is whether if the information about that buyer's agent commission can be posted on the MLS, the local MLS, or can the listing agent legally be allowed to talk about it? Those are the two questions you got to ask. So if the listing agent is now technically allowed or legally allowed to talk about it, and or it's not allowed to be posted on the MLS, and these are all part of the legal laws and the settlement of the NAR, then in that case, if the answer is no to both, that means the VA buyer can pay for their buyer's agent commission as part of the transaction. So just to give you guys an example, if you look on the MLS and it's not allowed to be posted on the MLS and the listing agent is not allowed to talk about it, then the VA buyer can pay for commissions. However, if the information can be, if the buyer's agent commission is passed through the MLS or legally be passed through the listing agent, then the VA buyer cannot pay for commissions. It's a bit confusing in that regard, but basically, if you're not allowed to know about the buyer's agent commission, then the VA buyer can pay for the commissions. Now, the thing is, they must be able to afford it. Now, it's probably going to be part of underwriting as part of their cash to close. So if they don't have the cash available to close, obviously they're not going to be able to afford it. So that's the main thing, and it has to be agreed upon on the contract and on the up and up. So that's one of the main big questions to start off, because there's a whole list of requirements in regards to other things beyond that, in regards to how it's posted, how it's recorded, and things like that. Ultimately, it needs to be part of the CD. So just want to make sure you guys understand that it all depends on the local MLS on what is allowed, because every MLS is different in regards to the NAR, if it's NAR owned or member owned. So that's one of the things I want to kind of bring up, is that it really depends on those things. So I know it's super confusing, but if you are allowed to know it, the buyer's agent commission legally, whether through the MLS or through the listing agent, then the VA buyer cannot pay for commissions, vice versa. So try my best to break it down as simple as I can. Hopefully that makes sense, but that's how you find out. And every state's going to be different. I just had one of my VA buyers pay for commissions in Illinois. So we kind of figured out some other ways to kind of make that work, but they did pay for commissions. So it is allowed. Again, it just depends on the state variance and the MLS. Anyway, that's about all I got for you guys.